This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friend Sarah and I gorge ourselves on overanalyzing a topic.
The Gorge is brought to you by... Well, I just messed that one, but let's just Ben, cut this part out.
Oh.
just cut this part out. Let's do that again. Do the intro again, Ben.
All right. This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friend Sarah and I gorge ourselves on overanalyzing a topic.
The Gorge is brought to you by Patreon. That's patreon.com/thegorge, where for just $5 a month, you gain access to our monthly commentary track, Takeout, where we talk over other people either playing things or just movies because we don't feel like putting in the work. And then for $2 a month, you can have That's Hell You're Walking Into, the podcast that finally made Vin play Fate Grand Order. Ha-ha, sucker!
You tricked me, idiot.
I did it! I'm so smart. I was like, I have a great podcast gimmick idea in mind, but it was actually just a trick. You walked right into it.
And so thank you to everyone who donates and makes both of those podcasts possible. Those people are Jack Toops, Saturn, Acomancer, HouseOToby27, Liam Lane, Nyan Hellcat, Otzi, Alice Marks, Josh Kaston, Magus, Patrick Perez, that other one dude, and our special Total Sucker tier, Roddy One Half.
Who we hate.
If you want to become a Total Sucker on our Patreon and get an exclusive Discord role that has no other additional benefits whatsoever beyond the $5 tier, you don't get anything else, you can donate $50 a month. We do not recommend you do that. It is a total scam.
It's a scam, but occasionally people fall for scams, I guess. The Nigerian prince scam works every now and then, and so does our sucker tier. So, but we love you for it anyways. It's fine. Thank you for buying my gotcha bucks.
Oh, and at $10 you get a sticker randomly every so often.
Whenever I feel like it.
Yeah.
This is a professional podcast where we know what we're doing all of the time. I'm definitely not making up the rules as we go. And, yeah. Ben, what are we talking about this week?
Well, this thing came out, like, about a month or so ago.
Oh, man, it's already been a month.
This is a very big box. This is a very big thing. It's white. It looks kind of like Seto Kaiba's jacket.
True.
It is a PlayStation 5. It came out. It's really cool.
We got a PS5. We got PS5s.
We both managed to get ours at launch somehow.
Yeah, because I, pre-ordered it. My brother was like, how did you get a PlayStation 5? And I was like, I told you, bro. I told you.
Apparently, if Twitter is to be believed, Aaron Hansen did not get a PS5 at launch, which means we're doing better than Aaron Hansen.
We're doing better than those assholes at Game Grumps. Excellent. At least I'm more successful than Aaron Hansen in that one respect.
In this one regard.
Haha, motherfucker. I have a dual sense and you don't. Kicks ass. But yeah, no, we got PS5s. I'm excited to have my giant box. I had to reorganize my entire entertainment center in order to make space for this huge box. And I love it.
I had to formally disconnect my PS2 and PS3 to fit it on my TV stand.
What you say?
Which is weird because those add up to 5.
Those do add up to 5. That's why you had to make space for them.
Yeah.
It's also funny because those are the 2 you can't play on your PlayStation 5.
Yeah. So once I get like everything reset up, it'll all be available. But for the time being, I was like, no, you guys gotta go. Sorry,
you gotta go into a box somewhere. There's not enough space. Maybe someday. My PS2 is extraordinarily janky. So really it is time to just go into a closet.
You just have to get, apparently, an Xbox Series X.
Yeah, no, that's Series S.
Series S, yeah.
I guess it would work on the Series X, too. Mm-hmm. But that more so than anything, sold me on a Series S.
I'm like,
I'm
oh,
actually considering it.
Is that the case? I'll get a Series S then.
Yeah, because it's a little box. You know, it doesn't have a big footprint. It's pretty cheap for a next gen system. It's only $300. It doesn't have a lot of storage, but PS2 games are small. So like, and apparently it's super, super easy to just put PS2 games legally on your Xbox Series S. It's crazy that Sony is cool with that. Just allowed that. Yeah. It's definitely not the Gorge endorsing the extremely cool crime of piracy and playing pirated video games on your Xbox Series S. That's ridiculous.
That's silly.
You're silly. Shut up.
But for now, let's talk instead about the one that we do own.
Yes.
The PS5.
We own a PS5. We own a 5.
So, what have you played on the PS5?
On the PS5, I have played Spider-Man Miles Morales. I didn't finish it. I wanted to. And then I had a COVID scare. I don't think I have it, but, you know, it did kind of derail my video game plans over the weekend. Whoops. I didn't finish it, but I got it. I played Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. I played Astro's Playroom. I played Genshin Impact on it because I wanted to give it a shot. I haven't been back to it. I played it like 2 nights and then was like, maybe I'll come back to this later. I have one gacha game and that's enough. I haven't been back to it, but I mean, like, I heard that game kind of ran like dog shit on PS4, so I could only imagine. Shot. Oh god. Oh right. Like I know you played a little of it too. Could you even fucking imagine trying? No. Like the load times alone would just make me want to throw up. So no, thank you. But no, it runs good on PS5. There, you know, it runs smooth, looks pretty. Load times are still longer than expected, but that's because it's not actually a PS5 game, so, you know. And yeah, I started to download Final Fantasy XIV, and then I stopped that download so I could go download Final Fantasy VII Remake instead. so I could play that again instead. Although really, I downloaded that and then went, I think I'm just gonna wait for like the inevitable PS5 version that is absolutely going to happen sometime next year. Like the actual the official remaster. Yeah, absolutely. Like the version that's made for the PS5 that fixes all those texture problems. Like yeah. It's super obvious that that's why they haven't really done anything to fix like the original version. They're gonna put out a PS5 version, and it's going to remap all of the areas to remove the squeeze-throughs. Oh god, could you imagine? I actually would really adore that, because that's like, it's egregious in that game. Did we talk about that when we talked about? I think we did. I think we talked about how hard they mask loading times in that game. They have to, but now they don't gotta. It's super. It sucks that like all of these games came out at the end of the generation that were like, they came out at the end of the generation and were kind of promised at the beginning of the generation. So they sort of had to come out on PS5 or PS4. And like they had to, but the problem is that they run like dog shit on the consoles that they were promised for. I'm looking at you, Cyberpunk 2077. And it's like, oh yeah, you really had no choice but to put it on this, but you probably shouldn't have. Like, that's the state that Final Fantasy VII Remake is in. It's like, I get why you did it, but like, also, you shouldn't have done that. You should have just waited until you should have waited just another year. Just another year. Just wait another year until the PS5 is out. It's fine. What did you get, Ben? What have you been playing? So I played Miles Morales, Astro's Playground, the PS4 Spider-Man port, or the remaster that came out. What else did I do? I popped in Melody of Memory. I played that on the PS5. And Bugsnax. That's it. Oh, you actually played Bugsnax. Okay. Yes. I didn't get around to doing that because it was on PlayStation Plus, and I kept telling myself I was just going to get PS Plus, and then I didn't, and now I don't think it's on PS Plus anymore. So, missed my window for that one. But exactly. It's okay.
So, let's talk about the 2 games we did play first.
Okay.
And then we can do our impressions of the other ones later.
Okay.
Afterward. So, Astro's Playground is the best Mario game I've played in a long time.
It's so delightful. It's such a it's Sony doing Nintendo better than Nintendo. They out Nintendo'd them, and I was just like, oh, good job, guys.
Like Wii Sports was the whole highlight around everything the motion control can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo Land was everything the Wii U tablet can do, right?
Sure.
Fuck it. And then they even had 1-2 Switch for the Switch, which is like, look at our haptic feedback and how cool it is. And
but
then
it wasn't a pack-in, right?
And then no, it wasn't. That's the other thing. And then Astro's Playground comes out, and it's like, oh, fuck you.
Fuck you. It's a pack-in, and it's cute, and it's very pretty for just a little simple pack-in game. And I actually played Astro's Playground. It was like 2 days after my PlayStation 5 got to my house, and my brother just like showed up at my house, like was like banging on my door, was like, I know you got that PlayStation 5. Let me in.
I can smell it.
I know you have it, Sarah. And he just showed. He's like, let me play PlayStation with you. And I'm like, fine. We are adults at this point. It needs to be said. We are fully grown adults, both of us. And he still showed up at my house and was like, play PlayStation with me. I'm like, okay, fine. So we did. And we literally sat around and goofed off in Miles Morales and played a lot of Astro's Playground. And he was just like, it was so delightful. I just handed him the controller at certain points to be like, here, you play it and feel how magical this fucking controller is.
What a delightful look at Sony, at the PlayStation's lifespan.
Right.
In a way that doesn't feel like corporate.
Too hokey? Yeah.
Like, it actually feels like it was made by fans.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it definitely feels like people who have, like, nostalgia for old. And it doesn't feel too, like, corny, I guess. It's just, you know.
I love seeing the little robots reenact PlayStation games. Those are some of my favorites. Little
Dante robot. Found me a Dante robot at one point, and I was so happy.
I like the Resident Evil one. Mm-hmm. Where it's Jill and Barry cowering behind a door while the zombie like waits around, and if you punch them, the door swings open and they scramble to shut it before the zombie can get in.
Oh, that's cute. That's adorable. Yeah, I like all like the little details of world spaces being built out of memory cards and stuff like that, and walking on tightropes made out of like the PlayStation 1's controller cable, like those teeny tiny things that I just spotted instantly, and I loved. I thought they were just, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I don't know, because I have such fond memories of my PS1.
Did you get the trophy where if you climb up the PS2 and smack the logo and it tilts 90 degrees?
No?
Yeah, you get a trophy for that.
Oh my god, that's so cute. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, no, it's adorable.
Music is great. It really did feel like a Mario, like exactly like a Mario game, like a 3D Mario game.
Well, yeah, you're collecting coins and you die in one hit, and yeah, that's Mario Bros.
And God, what a showcase of the haptic feedback stuff, right?
Right. Yeah, to me, like the DualSense is made out of magic. Like it's just there's fairies living inside that thing, and that's why it feels the way it does. I can't get over it. We'll kind of talk about the triggers in just a second, but like the triggers are so they're just cool. It is just extremely cool. I didn't think, like, when I heard other people talking about it as like pre-launch kind of hype conversations and stuff, one of the big things was everybody was talking about the controller, and I was like, okay, how big of a deal is it? It actually is extremely impressive. Like, it is legitimately very, very impressive to me that they made it work and feel that, like, responsive, and feel that after all of the complaints about how easy it was to press down the PS4's triggers, it's like, no, these triggers actually have, like, weight and crunch and clickiness to them, and it's like, oh, thank God. That's all I wanted.
They've really got to remake Bloodborne.
Oh, God, please.
And for the specific reason of so that you can set your controller down without wasting a bullet.
Yeah, exactly. Please, God. Also, just remake Bloodborne so that Bloodborne doesn't run like dog shit.
So that it runs at 60.
So Bloodborne can run at lock 60. I don't even want a remake. Like, I don't need a Blue Point fucking fancy ass Demon Souls remake. I just need a remaster, and then you stick it on the PS5 and you make a bajillion fucking dollars.
All you need to do is say run at 60, yes, and then here it is. You change nothing else.
Here you go. All those blood-starved beasts start crawling out of the woodwork to buy the video game from you again. Maybe then I can actually try to be good at Bloodborne. I'm so bad at Bloodborne.
They just make a port, and it literally is just that. It's like exactly the same game, the same box. It still says PS4 on the box, and it's just like, now it run at 60.
It runs 60. You buy. You actually just call it Bloodborne 60 FPS. Like, that's the subtitle.
Yeah.
Is Bloodborne 60 FPS. And you stick that on the store shelves at GameStop, and everybody buys that shit.
But
but like the controller itself is
magic.
Magic.
Feeling individual raindrops.
Yeah.
Feeling the wind moving from one side of the controller to the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you even do that?
I don't. There's the bit at the beginning of Astro's Playroom where, like, all the little dudes fall inside the controller, and you can, like, kind of shake it around. It feels like they're all rattling around in there, and it's like, how did you do that? I mean, I get it. It's haptic feedback, which means there's a bunch of just tons of little vibration things inside this controller, but, like, when you actually feel it while you play, you really can only think, like, oh, this is just magical. I wonder if that, you know what I really want is, like, for Ghost of Tsushima to get, like, a PS5 version, or I guess, like, a PS5 patch that makes it, although I know that a handful of PS4 games work with the haptic feedback out of the box because, like, they're Sony games. Anyways, I want the wind in Ghost of Tsushima to also, like, vibe on my controller.
God, so I can that would be incredible. Use that
like a compass, right? Like, I think that would be extremely cool, actually. I think that would be quite dope.
It's just amazing. Like, that whole thing of Astro's Playroom is just, like, the amount of collectibles you can get. Even just going to the gacha machine and having to pull down the lever and feeling that resistance when you pull the lever down, when you squeeze the capsule open.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing.
It's so, like, what a detail that I never expected to be such a, like, a neat thing. Like, to hear it when, like, they were first talking about the PS5, you go like, oh, okay. But then when you actually play it, you go like, it, like, clicks for you. You just get it. You're like, oh, yeah, this is a thing we should have had for a while now.
I didn't expect it to be as immersive as it ended up being.
Yeah.
Is the way I feel of it, where it's just like, you hear about it and you're like, oh, that's a fun little gimmick. You can feel, like, the thingies when you play the game. But then you actually do it, and it's such a nice addition.
Right.
Even the speaker being much better quality than the PS4's.
Thank God.
And, you know, hearing little individual sounds, like in Astro's Playroom, like hearing the metal tapping while you're walking. It's just incredible.
Yeah, you don't realize how much more it contributes, just kind of like getting settled in and being very comfortable with like what you're playing. And I am super excited to play, like, future games that, like, I know Deathloop was talking about locking the triggers every time your gun jams.
Oh my, I'm so excited to feel that one.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have games that do like really like bonkers shit with it. And to see what they can like come up with, I suppose.
Can you imagine RE8 having a heartbeat for your health?
That would be cool, actually. I know they already changed the lights in the controller as a like the 3 make did that, where like when you're low on health, the lights in your controller change. It would be cool if those two like worked in tandem, so you can always be kind of aware of your health status without ever having to check, which is like the ideal. Is to just kind of always keep playing, and then that way you're also reducing the amount of times you're spending in menuing, and which is great. It's perfect. I love stuff like that. It keeps you, and it reduces like your HUD, which I'm always a fan of. I think it's just the coolest, fanciest little thing, and it has such a nice weight to it. I didn't mean for this to turn into the gush about the DualSense podcast, but here we are. But like, I have such a problem with old. Like I've said, my favorite controller of all time is the 360 controller. Until now, I mean.
Yeah.
Until now, but like the 360 controller was the last controller that had the perfect weight for me, where it felt like not too heavy but not too light either, and didn't feel cheap. The DualSense has that. It's nice and heavy, but it's not too heavy. It feels really sturdy. It doesn't feel like I can throw it against a wall. Not like I throw controllers. I'm not a caveman, but you know what I mean. And I can actually, it can actually take some use without breaking, I hope. I think it's cool. I think, handing it off to other people, like I said, my brother, when he came and played with me, and he got to kind of goof off with it. He was just as impressed. He's like, "Oh, this is just magic." I'm like, "I know, right? It's unexpected."
It's cool because it is one of those things, like the haptic feedback in the speaker and all that. It is one of those things that you can pass Astro's Playroom to someone who isn't into video games, and they'll be impressed with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Which is very, that's a very Nintendo step to take as well.
I only have 2 problems with the DualSense.
What's that?
One is that I miss the colors. I miss the buttons having color, especially playing Astro's Playroom, and it's like everything is magenta, red, green, and blue, and it's like, oh, the controller doesn't have those anymore.
Right.
I miss that, and the battery life on it is terrible.
It's not as bad as PlayStation 4 controller, though.
Yeah, it's only you get 3-4 hours, I think.
I'm getting more than that.
Really? Mine died in one play session once, and it was fully charged when I pulled it off.
Unless I don't know. I feel like mine's been lasting pretty well. It's definitely longer than the PS4. Like I said, I'm definitely getting more battery life than PlayStation 4, and I get off one charge. I get about 5 hours off my PlayStation. My PlayStation 4 controllers are old, obviously. But yeah, I was getting 5 hours. I'd say I get about 6 or 7 on a controller.
I have an extra long USB 3 or USB-C cable.
Oh,
and
that's
I just
smart.
leave it plugged in all the time now, which is kind of weird because I'm back to being shackled to the console with a wired controller.
But I mean, you can still unplug it every now and then. Yeah. So
and it's not that big a deal. Also, again, thanks for being a USB-C or USB-C cable instead of whatever fucking exclusive bullshit you had for the PS4.
The PS4 was a
micro USB, I think.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't the same as the PS3.
That was a mini USB.
It looked really, really similar. So whenever I'd try to charge my controller, I'd be like, wait, is this one it? Nope, that's the PS3 one. Where is the PS4 charger?
Oh, I would just steal phone chargers because micro USB that's the same thing as a PS4. So it's just like if I have phone chargers lying around my house, I have more technical PS4 controller chargers in my house than I know what to do with, because all of the stuff that my shit is connected to is micro USB. I literally just like cannibalize my drawing tablet half the time.
I for the PS4 or PS5, I sometimes would use my Switch's Pro controller because that's also USB-C.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I can just use that as well.
It works perfectly fine.
It works.
But no, I do like the USB. What is it? Is USB 3?
I think it's C. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. The reason I like this one is the most vain and stupid reason ever. You can plug it in either direction.
Yeah, that's really nice.
It's very nice. It's a stupid thing, but it does annoy me. Like, to this day, I know that's just like an old, stupid, shitty joke, but it does bug me. So now all of my stuff is being charged on more easily to plug in things. I'm like, thank God. Thank you.
Yeah, the switch to like a universal USB feels as good as the switch to HDMI.
Yes,
where it's
please.
just like, oh, every single cable is compatible now. It doesn't matter. I just need a HDMI cable.
Yes, one single cable and everything can just switch, which is what I do with like half of my game consoles now, except for my poor PS2, which is just languishing under my entertainment center. Like, mother, please touch me. I'm so sorry, my son. Your disk drive doesn't even open anymore. Unless you want me to get the butter knife, you're gonna have to deal. It's really, that's how I have to open my my PS2 these days, because like the disk drive jams, so I have to press the button to open it, and then like, because it'll kind of like rattle at me like it's trying to get loose, and as it's rattling I stick the butter knife in it and I give it a little tug and it pops right open.
Yeah, see, they don't have that in Astro's Playroom in their tribute to the consoles. They don't.
Yeah, I know, right? They don't have playing a busted PS1 upside down to make it read discs. Like, you don't know what it's actually like to have been a broke-ass, video game player as a child. That's another trick. If you ever have a PlayStation 1 that won't read discs anymore, somebody explained it to me. It's that the thing that actually reads the disc, like the little lens that reads the disc, has kind of fallen out of its hub and is a little too far away from the disc now. But if you flip it upside down, it'll kind of fall forward and it can read it again. So I have played many games on an upside down PlayStation 1.
I mean, whatever works. It gets the job done. Yeah.
I gotta bring that PlayStation 1 out of the trunk of my car. Anyways, if you haven't, I have so many I was looking at it. I have so many stupid. I swear to God, I don't consider myself like a fangirl. Like, it's just a console, Like, mm-hmm. I don't see it as, like, me having any kind of brand devotion. It's just that this console has video games coming out on it that I give a shit about, Yeah. Like, I want to play Horizon Forbidden West and a bunch of other stuff. Like, I want to play Returnal, and that's a PlayStation exclusive title. So I was like, fine, I own a PC, so any Xbox games I can play on my PC. So obviously, I'm gonna buy a PS5. But the problem is that when you like take a step back, it just kind of looks like I'm a huge Sony pony, which I'm not.
Because you ended up just getting all of them anyway.
Because I literally have all of them. The only thing I'm missing is a PSP. I have everything else. I own not one, but 2 PlayStation 2s and 2 PlayStation 1s. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how I somehow came into ownership of 2 of the same console. like my brother, maybe, I don't know, but I was just sitting back and I'm like, how did this happen? I have so much. I look like a fool. I'm not a fool. I like my PlayStation, and I really want to play Horizon Forbidden West. That's mostly what it boils down to, is I extremely want to play Horizon Forbidden West and Final Fantasy 16 when it comes out next year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just went to where the games I wanted to play were. You know, I didn't get a PS3 until very late in its dev cycle because the Xbox was cheaper and it didn't have the exclusives I wanted at the time.
Until Tales of Exillia came out, and then I literally traded my Xbox 360 in for a PS3 so I could play Exillia.
I mean, I think I've told the story about how I fell out of favor with Xbox, where it was, I want to play BioShock 2 again. Yeah, but then I'd have to put the Xbox 360 and have to plug it back in. Oh, it's on sale on PSN. Okay. I will buy it on PSN instead of digging out my Xbox 360 and plugging it in. I don't want to have to listen to that disk drive.
Look, every time you turn on a 360, you roll the dice and pray it actually turns on, okay? That's the problem. Games preservation, baby. That's the problem. That's literally probably... That's probably why Xbox has gone so hardcore on backwards compatibility. Is because they realize that, like, all of their 360s are inevitably going to die. And so they were like, well, fine, we'll just have our well-made console actually be able to play our 360 games.
But no, for Astro's Playroom, just like finally on that. Game is absolutely gorgeous. It's so much fun. I had a smile on my face the whole time. I love the speedrun things.
Yes.
And that the game will tell you your friends' rankings in the game. And
then it will just go, here, do you want to go and try and beat them?
It's the best.
That's great. Thank you. I love it.
I didn't really use the cards at all.
No, I haven't messed with the cards at all.
Yeah, the activity cards. I love the PS5's UI.
Oh, it is very good, yeah.
It's very sleek. It's weird because, like, my method for, turning consoles on and off and stuff, it's the opposite of what PS4's was. Which was... Yes. PS4 is you hold down the button, and then it brings up to turn off the console. In this one, you have to tap it.
Yes, I actually still have the same problem with that. Yeah. Like, I'm still getting over that muscle memory disruption, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But yeah, no, I am extremely glad that they finally put, like, video games and media into two different... I know that's such a small thing. But like,
it got cluttered on the PS4.
It got really cluttered. Yeah, like it was such a problem to have to scroll through shit to try and, like, find what I was looking for. And now it's pretty simply laid out. So yeah, like I vibe with it. I like all of the little things about the system. I love its bigness. It's big white. My big white boy. Like a snowman, like Seto Kaiba.
Its presence.
Its presence in the room.
Its dominating presence.
It's so aggressive. It's like half the size of my 90-pound dog.
Right now I only have my Switch and PS5 hooked up because I'm in the process of moving.
Sure.
Boy, the contrast between those two is pretty impressive.
The Switch is just a little baby. It's just a little child next to this, like, fucking monolith looming over everything.
I really hope... I can't wait for them to release, like, customized plates that you can slide in and out.
Yes, and to do the same for the controllers so that I can just buy a black controller and black plates for my from PS5 so I can just have it coordinate with all my other Sony systems. As much as I like the sleekness of the white, I've said that before on this podcast. It clashes with everything else. I'm sorry. I'm an adult woman with a living room that has a lot of black in it. And this PlayStation does not vibe with that, so I need a black version ASAP. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the return of plates though, because we were talking about fucking the 360, which had faceplates.
Yeah, super nice.
Everything. Yeah, time is a flat circle. Consoles with customizable plates came back. Sure, okay.
I can't wait to deck that thing out and ruin the sleek black, white, and blue aesthetic they have.
Gonna get me a Corone PlayStation 5 faceplate. It's my plan. Really fuck up my adult woman living room vibes.
I think I do like my favorite detail about the controller is that it has tiny little PlayStation button icons in the texture portion.
It's such a textured controller is not what I ever thought I wanted, but I like it.
The raindrops in Astro's Playroom are PlayStation button icons too.
Cute. I didn't even notice that. Aww.
I also love how easy it is to take screenshots and videos now.
Yes, thank God.
Like you post those things in an instant. It's amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't take a billion years for things to load up. The solid state drive is truly magical. I know they're kind of old hat on PC at this point, but I'm an old lady and I'm easily impressed. And video games loading fast just makes me go, wow, every single time. So, yeah.
So speaking of fast loading times...
Yeah, let's talk about the one with the really fastest loading times.
Do you have anything else to say about Astro's Playroom before we move on?
It's cute. It comes free with the system.
Yeah,
you should play it.
Don't skip it just because it's like the free tie-in that's the tech demo. Play it. It's really fun.
Yeah, no, it's cute. It's good.
Miles Morales is a video game.
Miles Morales is a video game, and all the good and bad that comes with it. It's good.
That show, like, speaking of loading times, is first off, like, holy shit, the transition between, like, an interior area to an exterior area in a second.
Instantaneous. It's so good. Oh, man. The first time you swing out of, like, an interior, I guess, dungeon.
Yeah.
And back out into the city, and it's like, oh, that was fast. And then you just kind of clicks with you, like, oh, this is the future. Cool. We live in the future now, like, where there is no distinction. You
do a fast travel thing, and then it's like, oh, that was immediate. Oh, that was immediate. That happened.
That was instant. Yeah, you don't even have to wait. It just goes automatically.
It's like
you are in one place, and now you're in another. There's no more. I don't know where they're gonna give me gameplay tips anymore. Now that we don't have loading screens.
All those fun loading mini games are gone now. What are they gonna do?
I don't know. They're dead forever. Which, long live the king.
Seeing PS4 screenshots of it, and like seeing there are loading screens in the PS4 version, where it's just like a good render of like Miles like swinging or whatever, and it's like, oh, I don't see those ever.
I never see them. They just pop. The game immediately loads right in.
It's like that tweet where it's like, sorry, I didn't respond to your text. Video games don't have loading screens anymore.
I don't know what to do with myself anymore. How do I check Twitter while I play video games now?
They still need to add that thing where it's like, press X to continue past the loading screen, though, because I'm going to forget.
Oh, yeah. I will forget. And then the game will load. And I will be in trouble.
Yeah. So you didn't play the PS4 Spider-Man.
I did not, and I didn't finish this game either, I should say.
Right,
I tried, but again, life gets in the way.
This isn't really a full-length episode for Miles Morales.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of stuff I still want to go over, and we might veer into spoiler territory, so if you haven't played it, then, here's your chance to duck out. Going from the PS4 version to this, and then immediately after this going back to the PS... See, okay, I can't call it that anymore because it's not the PS4 version. It's on PS5.
It's the remastered version.
And
yeah.
I can't just call it Spider-Man because this is Spider-Man.
Right.
This is also Spider-Man. And I can't just say, like, Insomniac Spider-Man because this is also Insomniac Spider-Man. Like, I had to just call us, like, Peter Parker.
The first one and the second one.
Yeah.
You go.
But this isn't Spider-Man 2. This is Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Shut up. It's fine. We'll worry about that when Spider-Man 2 actually comes out.
So first off, going back to, I posted a screenshot on Twitter where it's like, holy shit, there are so many more collectibles in Peter Parker than there are in Miles Morales.
Right, yeah. Because this is still kind of a spin-off title.
Yeah. But the things that Miles gets to do with the Venom strikes and with the invisibility are so seamless that it's like it's jaw-dropping how much better the combat feels in Miles Morales than it does in Peter Parker.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because Peter Parker is a lot like the flow is still there. But because the gadget wheel is a lot more expansive and there's a lot more to do, you are like slowing down the action a bit to switch gadgets more frequently.
Right, you're spending more time fussing with gadgets.
Yeah, but it's still pretty quick and instant. Like when once you learn where everything is on the wheel, like then you can just swap without thinking about it. So I guess strategic is more the word I would use.
Sure.
Whereas Miles, it's just like you have. The face buttons correlate to different Venom abilities that are just active at all times.
Right.
And it encourages you to stay in the air as long as possible because that's how you build your Venom gauge faster. It's so, like, boy, does he hit hard.
Yeah, no, it all feels very satisfying. The kind of build up to actually landing like a Venom strike hit feels very good. It's you have the cool where it's like if you knock a dude into a bunch of other dudes, they also get electrocuted. Like you can start like thinking about things like that eventually. And it all just feels very like really good and responsive and very punchy, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, but not like actual punch. I mean, there is actual punching too, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed like the combat. I was not expecting to like the combat in this game as much as I did. Like I thought, like okay, it'll be kind of rudimentary, very Arkham Asylum, which it obviously is taking a lot of inspiration from. But it feels a little bit better than Arkham Asylum because there's, like you said, there's more encouragement to stay in the air and to stay mobile instead of kind of like locking onto dudes super hard.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I was expecting more so to just be like enjoying the swinging part, which I do. We'll talk about that in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect to like the combat at all. And I did not dread combat sequences. Like, sometimes you play a video game and you're really enjoying certain parts, and then there are other aspects of its gameplay loop that you're like, I don't want to engage with this. And I was expecting the combat to be that. But no, it's extremely polished. It's very easy to kind of slide into. So I don't hate it. I enjoyed it quite a lot, actually.
You get as you progress and you fill out your upgrade tree, and you get more like add-ons to it as you buy more visor equipment and suit mods and stuff like that. You get that one where it's just like, oh, you do a Venom tackle and then you jump immediately and you just get a free Venom jump too.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh my god, I could chain all of this together then.
Yeah, you can actually do combos. You're doing like Devil May Cry combos in your fucking Spider-Man game.
Yeah, you get your style meter going.
I will say I've never played there's a dev on Twitter who was talking about how basically every dev wishes they had more buttons to work with on a controller. And I get that. I've never played a video game where I feel that more than playing Miles Morales.
Really?
Yeah. No, I was playing that game and it just felt like it was a game that was desperately trying to like it just wished it had more buttons to work with.
There,
in that, like, you had to, like, buttons they have so many different functions combined with, like, L1 and R1 and L1 plus R1 doing something different, and to me, it wasn't bad. Like, I don't think it's not a knock in the games, like, against the game, but I was just thinking in my head the whole time I was playing it, like, oh, these guys super wish that the PlayStation just came with that back button that came out on the PlayStation 4. Like, you're playing it, and it extremely felt like they just wish they had just like one more button to work with, you know?
This is something I noticed between this and Peter Parker, where it's not so much that I think they wanted more buttons, but I guess the symmetry of the controller is like the button placement for the different actions. Is like, it doesn't like necessarily coordinate with what you would expect.
Right.
Like, you know, R2 being your swing, and not having like an equivalent for the other side. It's just, you just have one button for swinging instead of like Spider-Man 2 where you have your left and right arms.
Right, yeah.
So having that and not having like the equivalent on the left side as well to do additional swinging was like a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's just a lot of little weird things. Like a good example is in combat when you need to when you want to throw a mailbox at somebody, right? And the buttons to do that are L1 and R1.
Right.
But that's also the buttons you use to pull yourself away from other people. You know what I mean? Like if you're in the middle of combat and you want to pull yourself on top of a lamppost, well, those are the same buttons that belong to hitting the dude with the mailbox. Yeah. And it just felt like it just didn't feel quite right, especially because in the middle of combat, pressing L1 and R1 it doesn't feel right. It's not how people play video games. I don't know how to articulate that in a more intelligent way. I just need you to believe me when I tell you that when I'm in the middle of punching dudes, trying to transition from that to pressing L1 and R1 at the same time feels very weird.
And also the fact that, R1 is for your gadget, and you have to switch out of that to simultaneously web zip or grab an object to throw. And holding down L1
and it's also that shooting the web shooters very quickly is tapping R1, but holding it is opening the radial menu to select gadgets. I opened that radial menu a lot when I didn't want to. So it just kind of felt like, as good as the game was, it kind of felt like it was definitely like, oh god, can we please just get one more button or layout or something? I don't even know what the fix for that thing. I don't know what the fix for that problem is, but it's not a huge hit against the game's quality, but it is a thing that sometimes you just notice when you're playing a game. You just suddenly pick up on oh, yeah, there's something weird going on with the controller layout here.
Yeah, it doesn't quite. Yeah, it just needed one more button to be
Put the back button on the back of the PS5 controller. That's what I'm saying. Make it standard. That back button they put out, just make it standard. Should have put that back there. It's fine. You put a back touchpad on the Vita. You could put a back button on the PS5.
Because I'm trying to think what you could do. If you could move, because you can't really move the weapon wheel to or the gadget wheel to L3 or R3, because that also feels weird.
Yeah, I guess maybe R3, because it's your camera, and I don't know. I'm not a game designer. I just know what I know, and I know that felt strange. I think in general, like you have to be very careful with your shoulder buttons. Like putting melee and grenade on the same button in Fallout 4.
Right.
You have to.
That is an awkward situation sometimes.
You have to be very careful with what you actually put on your shoulder buttons, because it's a very tappy thing. But I mean, like, that's such a nitpick, but it was literally the whole time I was playing that game, I couldn't stop thinking about it. That's such a strange thing to think of when playing a video game for the first time, but for some reason it like jumped out to the forefront for me while playing Miles Morales, where it just felt like the controls, I wouldn't call them overly complicated. I don't know what I would call them, but I do know that some
busy,
of the, like,
I guess.
Yeah, busy is a good way to put it, actually. Like, the button inputs themselves feel very busy. It doesn't control poorly. Like, again, the swinging feels extremely good.
The combat also is just, it feels really great. And once you get into a flow, but it's like, you know, they give you a million options and they encourage you to use all of them. But they have so much to pick from. Right. That they don't have the real estate on the controller
to make it easy to choose from all of it. Yeah.
So I don't know, how do you fix it? Like a style switching system?
Yes,
maybe?
All games should be more like Devil May Cry. We've been over this. All video games should be more like Devil May Cry. You put your stiles on your fucking D-pad and you go to town.
Oh my god, but can you imagine Spider-Man having like heavy combat-oriented mode? Like an acrobatic mode? Like a gadget mode?
Yeah, that would be cool. See, you're welcome. Insomniac, you guys can have that one for free.
Like, you could do it like fucking like Predator mode, where he's just like really aggressive.
Or it would be like a stealth mode, like gadgets, heavy combat. Yeah, no, it actually, I mean, you could probably do something like that. On a D-pad to make it feel a little bit easier and more easy to like access all your different options.
Like, you know, like how Ghost has your different weapon stances.
Yeah.
But it's super easy to switch between them. Like,
yeah, because it's just on a trigger and on face buttons.
Yeah.
Like, that's an extremely easy way to switch between styles and stuff like that.
Now, that being said, I do love Miles' gadgets in this game.
No, they're good. They're good.
The gravity combined with the enhancements to stealth overall, the gravity bomb and the proximity mine are super good together.
Oh yeah.
The only one I don't like is the hologram.
Oh yeah, they're
one.
useless.
They aren't very good.
Useless. Now, a rule generally is that basically any game that gives me like a hologram that like distracts enemies from me, unless that hologram is really, really strong, it is worthless. Because they are basically made to die very quickly. And it's like, you're not doing any good distracting for very long.
The only advantage is that it's locked behind New Game Plus, which is you get their final upgrade and they explode when they're done. Which is helpful, but like, you have to do New Game Plus to get that.
That's New Game Plus, yeah. Exactly. No, any video game that uses like clones as like a gadgety thing, like fucking BioShock did it, and BioShock Infinite did it, and like Transistor did it. Every single time, it's useless.
Yeah, I don't care.
Give me something cooler.
Now, also that being said, the fact that they're all Peter Parker. And
they're like shitty Peter Parkers, like making wisecracks the whole time is really good.
The Spider-Man training segments. Did you do the one where you have to rescue the hostages?
No.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
Oh my god.
They're all Peter Parker and they're all hamming it up. Like, save me, Spider-Man!
Oh my god. Aaron Lowenthal is a good Peter Parker. I will give him that. He is a good Peter Parker.
So, if you didn't do that, so did you do the final hologram training then?
No, because I didn't get that far.
Okay, you need to do that ASAP, because for one thing, you get one of Miles' best costumes from it.
Oh, okay.
the other thing is you get to basically this is Yuri Lowenthal locking in, I'm going to be Spider-Man as long as possible.
Oh, good. Okay. Nice. Good for him.
With his performance in that scene.
Hell yeah. No, he's so good, but he's so good. He just kind of has like that perfect everyman vibe as fucking Peter Parker that it just works.
Did you do the pigeon side quest?
Yes, I did do. I love pigeon facts.
So
I love pigeon facts. I did get pigeon facts. I was extremely happy with pigeon facts the whole time. So
what I think really makes this this thing with Miles and Peter great is that Miles is a huge fanboy.
Right.
And he comes around to pigeon facts.
Yeah, he warms up to pigeon facts.
The fact that when you first get the training suit and you're it's Miles and Genki and they're looking it over, they're like, oh my god, this is so cool. And you expect it to be the black and red suit, right?
Right. No, it sucks. It's the lamest thing in the world, and Miles loves it.
It's this ill-fitting with knee pads and elbow pads for protection.
It sucks.
You can see it bunched up around his neck, and they're both like, oh my god, it's so cool.
It's a real Spider-Man costume. And it's like, oh, Miles, no, honey. It's so bad. But it is extremely... It's extremely the kind of thing that like a dork like Peter Parker would design for like a kid Spider-Man costume.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's perfect for that.
it was Peter going, I gotta design some cool thing that Miles will appreciate, but is still like the training wheels, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so this is it. This is the ultimate design.
I did so good, don't you think, MJ? No, honey. It's so bad. And
then Peter gets a call in Sokovia where he's like, "Oh my god, I love it!" And Peter's just looking at her like, I told you
he'd like it. Yeah, no, it's so funny. The first time because I was expecting the cool black suit. No, it's not the cool black suit.
No. It is.
It's significantly lamer. It's okay.
I wish they could do it, but I know they can't because his eyes are visible through it. But God, I wish it was the Spider-Verse costume.
Oh yeah,
the Halloween costume that he wears.
Yeah, the Halloween. Oh, I know. Yeah, that was the best.
I know because they can't do it because his eyes are visible. They have to model that whole thing every cutscene. But it would be so
nightmare. Cool. But yeah, I for the most part, I really enjoyed Miles Morales. I'd never played the first one, the one on PS4. I didn't play it. And the last Spider-Man game I played was the same Spider-Man game everybody on planet Earth has played, which is Spider-Man for the PS2. And so I was significantly surprised by how much the swinging kicks ass.
God, does it? Okay.
The swinging is probably one of the, unironically, one of the most, purely fun things I've ever done in a video game. Just the enjoyment of doing it. It is so much fun to, gain speed and run along buildings and just try to keep that momentum going. I could do that for hours. I did do that for hours.
There is, okay, and this is also with the PS4 version, where I didn't use the fast travel unless I was in the real world crunched for time.
Right.
Where it was okay, I gotta finish this by 2 o'clock. I gotta stop and go somewhere. Okay. Alright. I need to cut out the 5 minutes of traversal time and just get to my location. Unfortunately. Yeah.
Unfortunately, because otherwise, no, it is. I've never done the fast travel in Miles Morales. I've literally never used it. I don't even know how. Now that I think about it, because it's so much fun to just swing around. I love doing it. I love swinging around New York and finding neat things and trying to go fast. Frankly, I think the fact that New York has a ground is just a waste of development time.
Right? They, doing tricks in the air, doing the quick dive to gain more speed, web zipping. If you get the web zip that allows you to gain momentum when you when you flip off of whatever point you web zip to.
Okay.
You just keep your momentum like that. You get two web zips in a row before you have to recharge. Mm-hmm. You just get so many traversal options, and then even if you don't pick them, like you said, the wall running, the wrapping around a corner of a building.
Oh god, it's such a weird thing, but it's so satisfying to do and to pick up on and to just get good at. It's weird, but to just get good at traveling New York is so much fun.
My favorite is, I don't know if this was in the base game, the PS4 version, if you are trying to traverse a fire escape, he has a unique animation for that.
Oh, really?
Running up the side of a fire escape instead of the normal, just regular wall running.
Yeah.
He does a lot more flipping and web zipping with that.
Cool. Okay. I hadn't seen that.
Also, the fact that you can now, if you're going horizontally, you can go around fire escapes without careening into them.
Oh, good. That's good to know.
Yeah, the web. And then once you get the venom jump, and you can use that in midair.
Yeah. Oh my god, I don't know. I literally could just goof off and do that for hours and just swing around and take in the sights and climb tall buildings and jump off of them. All of that is so... I'm sitting here playing it oh, I get it now. I get why people like this game so much.
Literally, I like tall buildings so I can leap off of them.
Oh yeah, hey, look at that. Yeah. I didn't even think about that, huh?
And then, you set it into 60 FPS mode, and then, it's butter smooth the entire time, because,
just
again...
gliding along.
The PS5 is magic.
It can do magical things and make a game this big run so smoothly and look so good, and just playing... It's my favorite part of this video game.
And Insomniac knew, because if you switch to photo mode... It puts you in 30 FPS ray tracing mode in photo mode.
Okay. They know.
Automatically.
Right, yeah. They're no, we want you to take pretty pictures when you're using photo mode.
And now I have to go back and play it again because they released that 60 FPS ray tracing mode.
Oh yeah, I think it drops it down to 1080p or something like that.
I think it's 1440, and they reduced the draw distance and the number of civilians in there.
Oh, that's fine. Who pays attention to who's on the ground? Like I said, frankly, I think the fact that New York has streets that you can walk on is just a waste of time, because I am so very rarely down there.
If you do it, though, you do get the fun Miles interacting with civilians thing.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
You can get Miles to take a selfie with people and high-five them and stuff.
Okay, that's cute. It's very Spider-Man.
Yeah, so that part's fun. But yeah, again, that's only you do it once and okay, cool. Then I'm back in the air.
Yeah, it's cool, but also, why would I walk around when I could be Spider-Man and swing places and go very high and very fast? You don't understand. It's so much fun.
I also think, I know you haven't beaten it, but I think the story is really, really good in this one. Insomniac did a great job with character writing with Rio and Genki, and Miles. I love Aaron Davis in this one, the Prowler.
Yeah.
He's really, really good in this. His suit looks super cool.
I don't think... No, wait, have I seen it yet? I might have. I don't remember. It's been a couple days since I played. So far, I'm okay with the story. Nothing about it's really lighting my world on fire. But it's not really why I'm playing that game either. It's not really playing it for the story.
The overall storyline is, it's a superhero thing. There's a new villain in town, and Spider-Man's got to stop him.
Right.
And you get, since it's Insomniac Spider-Man, you get more personalized bits of it. Mm-hmm. So they do a good job there. It's not going to like revolutionize the way people think about video games like Nier will.
Right.
But that's not really why you're playing this particular game.
No, it's not really why I'm playing the Spider-Man game. I'm doing the Spider-Man game to be Spider-Man, so it's fine.
I also like that they didn't bullshit the Tinkerer reveal at all.
Oh yeah, I did get to that part.
It's like, the Tinkerer is here. Who could it be? And then Miles like, oh my god, that's my friend.
It's my friend.
Okay, we know right away. All right, cool, done.
Cool, done. We cleared the main hurdle. Now let's keep going.
We're not gonna get that who could it be for like 10 hours.
No, thank God. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I was saying on Twitter, I rewatched Spider-Verse the other night, like on Saturday or something like that. I rewatched Spider-Verse, and I had the huge problem of realizing, like, I think this game is gorgeous, but I also think this game is very boring looking. It didn't, like, visually, like, it's gorgeous in that, like, it's immaculately rendered, ray tracing, blah, 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 60 frames per second, all that good shit. But it's also just like a gray and blue city with some neat detailing stuff, but you're spending so much time like in the air that like all the cool stuff on the ground, I didn't see a lot of it.
I really wish, this is a minor thing, I really wish Miles had gotten a unique suit like the advanced suit was, to give like a little bit more color in that landscape.
Yeah. It's you play it with the Spider-Verse suit, with the 25 frames per second mode, and you're like, oh, right, this would be way better. You have all of the power of the PlayStation 5 to make like a comic book video game, and like it just kind of looks like real people when you could do like real comic book bullshit. And I mean, even just like swinging around in the Spider-Verse suit, which has like the cell shading look and like way more like darker, like its black is way blacker than like the other suits, and its red is way more vibrant red. And it's like, oh, all right, this looks way better.
Have you ever worn the Spider-Verse suit inside like a vent where you get really close to Miles with that?
No.
Oh, he looks so cool because you can see the dots. You can see the ink dots.
Yeah, no, it has like. It has the renderer on it. It has the fucking the dots and the actual like the look of the movie, and it's like, oh right, I would vastly prefer this. It's especially because like, we had our very pretty stylized but still realistic game in Ghost of Tsushima, which has like incredible color palettes and color designs and all that stuff. And so even though like I think Miles Morales is very beautiful as a video game, I was not particularly moved or enjoying it. Like visually, I was just like, this is pretty, but that's kind of all it is, and there's more than just like being pretty. Like realism does like nothing for me.
If you want to appreciate the aesthetic of Miles Morales more, play the Avengers game for an hour.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then you'll be like, wait a minute, no. These characters have some real design to them, actually.
Yeah, it's still, I don't know. That's like, Ben, the bar is in hell. I'm just saying.
That's how I felt when I played a little bit of Avengers and switched to Miles Morales, and I'm like, oh my god, even these Roxxon soldiers look so much better in this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, Simon Krieger is the fucking best.
Simon Krieger is the most, like, video game-ass comic book fucking villain that's ever been a video game comic book fucking villain. So, it's incredible.
He is so fucking smarmy, CEO, big shot, guy, like, ever. It's amazing.
Such a piece of shit from, like, the word go.
There's-
Like, as soon as you meet him, I'm like,
There's a bit where, you know, you're infiltrating some of his facilities and whatnot, and you find a recording that he sent out to, like, the staff about how, like, new company policy where it's, you have to turn in all your electronics at the gate because of, security reasons. But he's like, you know, we're here to change the future, but we can't change the future if we get shut down by the government. And he's just got that fucking tech guy voice, that tech bro.
Fucking, like, venture capitalist horseshit asshole voice. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's amazing. They nailed him so hard.
It's very funny. It is very, very funny to me.
And it's just Troy Baker doing his normal Troy Baker voice.
Is that Troy Baker?
It's Troy Baker. It's 100% Troy Baker.
God, I actually didn't. You'd think I would notice. I did not. That's hilarious. Well, you know, wherever Yuri Lowenthal goes, Troy Baker is soon to follow. They're all off making big Sony bucks now. They don't do anime voices no more.
They don't need to. They got this on lock.
They got Spider-Man money.
He is just like, I wish he were the primary villain and not the Tinkerer.
Oh yeah, that feels right.
I wanted like a final boss fight where he's in a big dumb Lex Luthor suit and like, you know, yelling about like making profit off of this fight.
Right? Yeah.
He's just the worst.
That's good.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but you need to beat this
Sure.
game as fast as possible because he has a line at the end of the game that you're going to fucking love.
Oh god, I dread it. Good.
Great.
I can't wait. I'll get on it soon. This isn't like a review episode.
No.
It's like an impressions / I just want to talk about my cool new box.
Yeah.
Episode.
And the PS5 features of this, no loading times, the haptic feedback on the web swinging feels so cool.
Yeah, that's one of the things is that like the actual resistance on the trigger when you press it down, so it feels like you're really like, you know, releasing it. It's very cool.
So,
very, very cool.
Because like, I don't know if you know this about comics, I might have mentioned it to you or not, but what is supposed to be true about the web shooters, it's not always true because people forget, is that Peter and Miles are the only ones who can use them because they have super strength and super resistance.
Right.
And the trigger requires like the force of like a normal person swinging a sledgehammer to press down.
Right. I think you have told me this.
Yeah.
It's like, because it keeps it from just like accidentally going off at any time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, in Into the Spider-Verse, Peter mentions like double tap to flip the web out. So, and when the web shoots out, it shoots out with such a force that it's supposed to like nearly tear your arm out of your socket if you're a normal person.
Right. Yeah.
So you feel that when you press the trigger down, and like you get that strong resistance before like it shoots out.
It's extreme. And at first, like, I almost didn't notice it, maybe because like I had only just gotten my fancy new box with its fancy new haptic triggers. But then at one point I was just goofing off and swinging around, and I was like, "Oh wait, yeah, there's resistance on this. How?" And it's the coolest thing. And then once you notice it, you're just constantly like, I'm a kitten with a pair of shiny keys. You can just jangle them in front of my stupid face, and I will be happy every single time. I'm just like, oh, they did the thing. I love the thing. I love the magic controller thing. Thank you, Sony. It's so cool.
I do want to ask real quick, because I don't think we're probably going to do a full-length episode of this unless, like, you play the Peter Parker game too.
Right.
What do you think of Danica?
Oh, she's fine. She's fine. She sure is a video game company's interpretation of a quirky podcast host.
Yeah.
She sure is that.
I love that she is the stereotype polar opposite of J. Jonah Jameson.
JJJ is so much better though. I know he's like a huge asshole, but like every single one of his fucking episodes of the podcast is like my favorite thing in the world because he sucks.
Oh, he's so
I like
great.
that. I like that Pete listens to it. I'm very glad that Pete listens to it like a masochism thing.
Yeah, Miles talks about how, like, the suit came pre-subscribed to it.
It's great. It's just like, yeah, no, that works perfectly. It's so funny.
You go through the entirety of Peter Parker and Miles Morales, and you, like, these characters are all so great. They go through so much growth and depth. There's so much nuance to them. And you are expecting Jameson to also have that kind of change of heart.
No,
and,
fuck
like,
you.
Grow as a person throughout the entirety of this fairly lengthy game. No. Not once, not ever.
Never. Fuck you.
Not even in the cathartic ending of both games where these heroes have overcome great personal difficulty and strife, and they have earned their place as respected champions, and you would expect at least once Jameson to go, maybe he's alright. No. Never.
Never. Spider-Man will never, ever get that W. Go fuck yourself. That's the way this world works, alright? They only ever did that once, and it was in fucking Spider-Man 3. And that's the only time you're ever allowed to do it, is because you're in a Sam Raimi movie. Was it Spider-Man 3? Or was it the first one? Was it the first? It was the first one, wasn't it?
No, it was the second one. It was the second one because that's the one where he had to
Was it
quit
Doc Ock?
he lost his powers. Remember?
I could have swore...
Because I remember the scene because he loses his powers early on.
Yeah.
And so they find the suit in the trash can, and Jameson has it framed in his office. And then eventually he's like, oh, I was wrong about him. He was a hero. He stood up for the little man. And then he has his back turned, and that's when Peter gets his powers back. So he steals it out, and then he turns around, the suit's gone. He's like, he's a menace.
It's the only time you're right. Okay. It's been so long since I've watched the Raimi movies. I should rewatch them, except for the third one.
Also, like, they're just like, yeah, it's gotta be J.K. Simmons. Just get a J.K. Simmons impersonator.
I think it's so funny that he has. I know it's not actually J.K. Simmons, because J.K. Simmons he's too busy doing other things.
Yeah.
Like being in the movies again.
Yeah.
But, like, I do think it's incredible that basically, like, after J.K. Simmons did, like, JJJ in the old Sam Raimi movies, the entire universe decided at once, in unison, oh, this is the only way this man is ever allowed to sound ever again. Like, it's incredible. Even
stronger than, like, every cartoon now, or cartoon or video game now has whoever is doing Tony Stark to just imitate our Robert Downey Jr. Even stronger than that is just like, oh yeah, J.K. Simmons is now J. Jonah Jameson.
Like by default, that's the only person who's they're ever allowed to sound like.
If you can't get a sound alike, then he's just not going to talk in this.
Right. It's incredible. No, I love it. Because it's true. Like, no one's ever done that better. Ever.
Okay, so the only good thing, I don't know if you've gotten it, but there is a point where Jonah guests on the Danicast.
Oh, no, I didn't.
They have a debate, and he gets pissed off and leaves, and he says, his line to Jared is something like, there's no good optics to defeating a child.
Oh, it's incredible.
You know, at first it's like, okay, so Danica is supposed to be like the good podcast that you listen to, right?
Right.
And then you get to the point where they do interact with each other, you realize, no, they're both just the opposite of each other.
Right.
One isn't good or bad, they're just two sides.
That's it. No, it's great.
I love it.
Oh my god.
This game is so fucking good. There's a few things I didn't like about it, but like they're vastly overshadowed by just like how amazing the PS5 is at like making this game look good and play good and load good.
We love good loading. We love good loading, folks. It's our favorite thing in the world. Yeah, no, I mean, I was still like, you know, I enjoyed it. I am enjoying this video game. It's fun to play. It looks pretty. I'm not particularly interested in the story, maybe because I don't have any context from the first one. Who knows?
But really, like, the fact that Peter is like, I have to go now. Like, and then it's all just about Miles. Like, you don't need to play the first one, actually. Like, it's totally fine.
Okay. Yeah, no, but, like, it's fine. I mean, I'm still just enjoying playing it. I got it because it was a budget title. It was a $40 game, so I spent $80 on 2 video games instead of $70 on one, because I got a big brain up in my head. I just spent $500 on a console. I'm gonna try and be cheap for a little while. Jesus. But I like it. I think it's a good game. I love web swinging. I'm just gonna do that all the time. Just gonna go swing around New York. It's the best. Yeah.
So that's all I really have to say. Oh, one more thing though. What is your favorite costume so far?
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a normie. What do you want from me? I really like that movie, like way more than I like this video game. Even though I don't think this is a bad video game, I just, I'm a normie.
I really like his 2099 one. I feel like that one is like the equivalent of the advanced suit.
Right.
For like that's like if they had to design a new, like a similar looking suit to fit with like the advanced aesthetic, it would be that one. So I liked wearing that one. I also really, really like the one you get from Uncle Aaron. He gets a side quest later in the game that you can do. I won't spoil what it looks like, but it's super dope.
Cool. I will report back at some point.
Yeah.
To talk more about Miles Morales, because I need to finish it. But yeah, I like it. I like my PlayStation 5. That's the most important part. I really like my PlayStation 5.
That all being said, real quick before we wrap up, just some stuff we haven't done. How's those loading times in DMC?
Oh, it's so good.
How does it feel to lose and then come back immediately?
It's so nice to just load right in. Oh my god. It's like being in heaven. I can't believe it. And by heaven, I of course mean hell, because I'm constantly getting my ass kicked, because I'm really, really out of practice, and I'm no good with Virgil, because I haven't practiced with that even less. But I'm learning. I'm picking up on it, I love it. I love Devil May Cry 5, obviously.
Does it look any, can you, tell that it looks better?
Well, I'm not playing with ray tracing on.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not that much of a normie. Like, of course I'm going to play fucking Devil May Cry in 60 frames per second.
Of course, yeah.
Of course. Who turns on ray tracing in this kind of game? That's not why I'm here. So, as far as I can tell, it looks basically the same. I think the lighting is a little bit better, because that game had janky lighting on, the models in the game, just to save on processing power. So I think that is a little bit better, but otherwise, mostly it's just because Devil May Cry 5 looked good to begin with.
Right.
So marginal visual improvements are not going to register on my scale that much. But no, the load times kick ass. That game is still extremely good. Virgil is really fun. Obviously huge recommend. It's just more Devil May Cry 5. But with more now, fucking add Lady and Trish. Let's go.
Right. Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do the full special edition and not just this only Virgil shit. I'm gonna keep pressing for more, because I want more until 6 comes out at some point.
What we need to do is we just need to get Dan Southworth into some kind of interview or press conference, and then we'll know for sure if that happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to get him. We need to get Dan Southworth and Johnny Young Bosch in the same room together, because that's 100% guarantee one of them will slip up. Somebody is gonna say something. Don't worry, that's how we get our news in the Devil May Cry fandom. It's fine. Game's great. So is there anything new story-wise, or is it just the way that 4 and 3 did it, where it's here's a cutscene of Virgil, and then you just do the levels? There's a cutscene of Virgil at the beginning. I know there's some new stuff at the end, but I haven't gotten there yet. I'm pretty sure Virgil's boss at the end of the game is Dante. I think so too. Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Okay, good. I hadn't seen that. That's just what I have heard on Twitter because I haven't gotten there yet because I've been playing other things too.
Because if you do his EX taunt, where
oh right, that's right. Because then Dante will do a dance off. That's that's it. No, it's super good. So like, thank God they at least did that instead of having to fight Red Virgil like they did in DMC3.
Yeah.
No, I mean, fuck. It's Devil May Cry 5.
It's more DMC 5. You can't go wrong with that.
Right.
What was I going to ask? I was about to ask something.
Is it gone?
Shoot, I think it's gone.
It's gone. It's okay. It's fine.
I remember now. It was, how does he do the, like, traversal and stuff that you would need V or Nero to do, then?
It's a teleport thing.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a teleport thing. What else to say about that? I mean, not much else. Fuck, it's Devil May Cry. It's fine.
What haptics are in that?
The one that stands out the most is the revving the gun.
Oh yeah.
Like revving the Red Queen and the guns and all that good stuff. That's like the one that like sticks out the hardest.
That would feel really good.
Yeah, it's very satisfying. I'm kind of wondering, like, I haven't tested it too much, but I'm kind of wondering, like, can I max act just by using the haptics?
God,
like, can I feel that out?
That would be amazing.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's like a thing that people can do right now.
See, that's the question we're going to be asking, like, every time a new game comes out now, is like, what haptics do you have in here?
Yeah, what neat tricks are you doing with the haptics? Because I think that's always, that'll be a fun kind of thing, especially like obviously the Sony first party devs will be doing big things with it because it's a feature of the console. So I'm looking forward to Horizon.
God, that one's going to be good.
It's going to be good. It's gonna be very good. Anything else you wanna talk about before we wrap it up for the night? Any other games worth discussing?
Bugsnax has more in it than I thought it did.
Oh yeah, Bugsnax.
As far as like story goes, I did not expect to have one at all.
I heard it actually had good characters in it, which just shocks me.
Yeah, the character writing is actually super good. Lot of Persona characters in here.
How so?
Ryuji and Mona.
Like voice acting and stuff?
Yeah. Max Middleton, and I don't know who Morgana's voice actress is, but she's also one of the characters. She's Beffica.
Okay.
Who else was in it? I think Mitsuru's in it too.
Oh my god.
Sam Riegel's in it too. That's right. That was what I'm thinking of. Yeah, okay. Teddy's also there.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
Yeah,
just get the whole Tails voice cast.
And it's funny because like you hear them usually in like Japanese games, and then they're just in this very very Western game.
It's Western cartoon game. It's cute. It's actually a thing that makes me kind of want to play it.
The gameplay is pretty simple. You know, it's you talk to someone and they say, "Hey, I'll go back to the town, but first you have to find these Bugsnax for me," and then you have to go and do whatever trick you need to do to catch the Bugsnax.
Sure.
And then they'll be like, "All right, I'll go back," and then you do whatever additional quests they have for you.
Right. It's a collect 'em up.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's very Jak and Daxter.
But all the tricks you do to catch the Bugsnax are kind of clever and fun. Using different Bugsnax in the environment to like trigger things. There's one that is a scorpion that is on fire, and you have to trick him into lighting little popcorn kernels so that they pop, and then you can catch them when they're slower and bigger.
Okay, that's cute.
And they all just say their names and nothing else, and they all have
very Pokemon,
quirky voices with them, and it's just fun to like walk around and hear them muttering to themselves.
Cute. Okay.
I did run into Cromdo Face.
I'm Cromdo Face. I know he doesn't actually sound like that.
He doesn't say that, and it caught me off guard. Because I'm like, wait, you don't.
I've got brain worms. I got some fucking brain worms from goddamn Big Think.
It's exactly the same situation as like me, where it's like I know Halo more through Red versus Blue than through actual Halo. So I see Master Chief, and I'm like, oh, green Tex.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it is super charming. Okay, so Cromdo Face is he's a sleazy businessman,
right?
And he literally tries to sell you a bridge when you first meet him.
Oh my god, excellent.
And he's wearing like a big tacky tie and everything. It's great. I love it.
Good.
It's I did not expect it to have lore, period.
Oh my god.
Like
dark forbidden Bugsnax lore.
So there's a bit where it's like, you're just kind of traversing through and you meet a character who is like a farmer, and he's trying to grow, so you get a slingshot that can shoot sauce packets, and sauce packets grow on bushes.
Okay.
So he's trying to grow the sauce packets, like, and so what you do is like, if you find a plant in the wild, you go back to town, he has that plant in his garden now, so you can just automatically refill your supply there for free.
Oh, okay, that's good.
And he's talking about, like, I'm trying to grow some sauces so we don't have to eat all the bug snacks. And it's like, because I think these bug snacks are kind of weird. Like, they're alive, but they don't have bones or organs. And then I like, pause.
No,
and I'm like,
I don't need that kind of horror.
And it's like, wait, what? Okay. And, it's one of those things where it's like, it's a spider, but he's made of French fries. And you eat the French fries, right? And it's like, okay, quirky cartoon thing. Mm-hmm. You don't need to think about that any harder. You don't have to think
don't need you to make me think about the biology of the French fry spider. Thank you.
Like,
the French frieder.
You catch a ribipede, which is a centipede made of ribs. And it looks like ribs, so it has, like, the bone, like a cartoon rib. It has, like, a cartoon bone in the rib, right?
Right.
And you feed it to the archaeologist, and she's like, my theory was right. It looks like a bone, but it's not actually a bone.
Oh, no, we're, no, sir. That is unsettling.
And it's like, I didn't expect you to get into, like, the mythos and biology of this burger that just says Bunger all the time.
I don't want to know what my hot dogs are made of in the real world. I don't need you to make me ponder what the fucking the ribipede is made out of. I don't want to consider that. Are you out of your mind?
I didn't expect this game starring a bunch of bootleg Muppets, where if you feed something to one of them, their arm turns into French fries. I didn't expect them to be like, what sort of evolutionary path requires you to evolve a creature into a bag of chips? A literal bag of chips. Not just a potato, but like the actual foil bag.
Yeah, how do you... No, I don't want to ponder the inner workings of the bug snack. Thank you very much. I don't want to know what, like, the primordial bug snack looked like. Like, was it just a grocery store? Was it just like a big grocery store trundling around out in the world, and it spawned off little animal versions of itself that went out and evolved into fucking potatoes, and then did the potato evolve into a fucking bag of chips? No, I'm good, thank you. I just want to look at the little strawberry thing and go, Strategy! And that's it. I don't want to think about it any deeper than that. Bug snacks.
They really got to start selling, like, plushy versions of all of them, because they sell a bazillion of them.
I do want the strawberry one very badly.
As far as PS5 things go, it takes advantage of the speaker. Every time you catch a bug snack, it shouts its name through the speaker. The feet haptics are there, but they aren't, like, mind-blowing. I think this is also, like, a PC release.
Yeah, it's a third-party game. That's how it's gonna be.
Yeah, there's some resistance in the triggers. I feel like that's going to be like a good, because it still feels good, having that like slight give. in the triggers when you launch.
I feel like that's going to be a very common thing because you can use it to like differentiate between guns and stuff like that as well. Which I'm a fan of. I love the idea of like having a heavier firing option for like a big chunky pistol versus like an SMG or something like that.
Imagine like a bow and arrow, like fucking Horizon will have that where you hold it down and you have to force it.
Oh yeah, that actually would be really cool because it can also kind of help you like mitigate how far you want the arrow to go. Mm-hmm. Like if you don't want to pull it back all the way, you can kind of like hold off and have it just kind of fly a very short distance instead, which is neat.
Yeah. But yeah, you get some resistance when you use your like, net and your launcher thing to like catch different bug snacks and stuff. But besides that, there's not really anything super fancy about it.
That's what I figured most of them will be like.
Yeah. Unless it's first party, you're not going to get like people taking advantage of it because like that's time they can spend like fixing the Xbox version or the PC version.
Right, exactly. It's the Nintendo thing all over again. Yeah. It's the like it's Waggle in old Wii games, you know. They're not going to put a lot of thought into it. If any thought at all. So, which is fine.
In this case, they're putting more thought into you questioning the nature of life.
Yeah, they're making me think about where a fucking bug snack comes from. Like, what kind of primordial ooze did a bug snack crawl out of? No, thank you. I would like to not consider that.
One of the things they're talking about is one of the characters is trying to investigate how they reproduce because they don't have any organs or any sort of like, internal bits. So how do they make more bug snacks?
Nah, you know what? I'm ending this conversation here. I'm calling it a night. We gotta stop because that's weird.
You're gonna be up at night. I'll let you know when I finish it so that so both of us can sleep.
Give me some closure on these little horrible creatures skittering around everywhere. Thank you.
So yeah, fucking PS5 is probably one of my favorite console launches since like, I don't know, the GameCube?
Yeah, like PS2. Like PS2 launched with some pretty solid stuff. I think this is a pretty solid launch. Like, and we're getting more stuff kind of in the first couple months of the year as well.
Would you say the advancements to stuff like loading, to ray tracing just being a gimme now? Mm-hmm. The haptic feedback, would you say this is on par with the step from 2D to 3D, like to the GameCube, to the N64, PS1?
I think it's more on par with the step from PS2 to PS3, like the transition to HD gaming. Because like ray tracing is pretty, but it is also just pretty. And I think the transition from 2D to 3D is such like a fundamental world shift. I think the SSD is a big deal. Like making that standard. I think making that standard is way more important than like ray tracing.
How that's going to change the landscape of like
literally what video games look like. Like how they handle things. Like famously, it's going to be really funny when fucking the Mass Effect remastered collection comes out next year, and you're gonna play Mass Effect 1 with those fucking elevators.
God, can you
like those elevators are just there for aesthetics now. Like they have to be there because that's where you get all the good conversations, which is like the whole point of like those like of the old good BioWare games is you're there for squad mate conversations. But like they are exclusively there for aesthetics now. They are no longer there to hide loads.
What they need to do is they just need to like time the elevator with like the loading time. So honestly, you just get in and the elevator just zips up and it like pins Shepard, Tali, and Garrus to the floor.
Everybody's just pancaked against the ground. Oh my god. But no, I actually do think that's what they'll end up doing, is that the elevators will be timed to the conversations instead of actual load times. Like, you'll get on the elevator and people will start talking, and then, like, as soon as the conversation is over, the elevator will open, you know?
Right, yeah.
Like, it's not going to... Because, like, you know, in the olden days, the the conversation would happen, and then sometimes you would still be on a quiet elevator. You know, I remember those dark times. And so, like, I think that will just be completely gone.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So, like, I think that is a more important, like, transition. Because, like, we have seen, especially as video games get bigger, the trying to hide loads has gotten harder. Like we said, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like, that will be a more, like, fundamental shift, ultimately, than basically anything. That kind of changes what video games look like. More so than, like, what video games physically look like.
Yeah.
Like, their graphics. It's more so what their structure is.
I feel like we're seeing diminishing returns in terms of model quality.
Oh yeah, I'm no longer impressed by beautiful graphics unless you have extremely, like, really strong. Like I said, Miles Morales did nothing for me on a visual level. It's fun, but
the ray tracing thing is to me more just like this is an option now.
Sure.
As opposed to, like, I'm blown away. Like, instead of it being like this unattainable thing that only exists on high-end PCs.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It's very pretty, but pretty can only carry you so far.
Yeah, it doesn't do much for me, because, like, I turn it off when I'm playing Miles Morales.
I'd rather have 60 frames per second.
Yeah. But it's like, you know, it's just like, oh, this is a toggle now.
Yeah.
So if you are into that, you can turn it on, and you don't have to get a PC that costs you $12,000.
Yeah, I do think that's, like, neat. I think these little, and, you know, hopefully some more creative studio will come along and do, like, neat, interesting things with ray tracing now that the option is wildly available.
I'm actually looking forward more to Ratchet and Clank. Speaking of Insomniac.
Oh, yeah.
Because that'll have, like, a cartoony art style to it. And Ratchet's fur will look incredibly detailed.
Yeah, I think that will be a more interesting visual spectacle. Like I said, realism does nothing for me. Ghost of Tsushima was a massive exception because it was all in its that's a hard combination of words. It's all in its aesthetics.
Yeah.
More so than, like, the actual graphics, like the model quality or whatever. It was, like, the intelligent use of color and lighting and blah, 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 all that good shit.
I really hope that by the time Spider-Man 2 comes out, they do add more to the city.
Yeah.
To make it, like, look more like a thing than just New York.
Yeah, to give it more, like, visual stylization. They gotta do something, because it does, like I said, it does nothing for me. But, I mean, I might still probably end up playing it just because I like swinging around so much. Who knows?
It's not like it looks bad.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't look bad. It's just, like, there will be more interesting things out at that time. Like, visually, there will be more interesting things out. I'm way more interested in fucking Returnal than, like, nearly anything else, because I think that's like it's like a tone piece with fucking, like, roguelite elements and horror shit going on. Like, I think that is more interesting than a ton of other stuff on the release slate, honestly. So, like, I am still excited for it. I mean, like, people ask me, like, are you glad you bought your PS5? And, like, yeah, I am. But that is because I had a base PS4. Like, I think if I had a PS4 Pro, I might have held off. Because most things coming out right now also are running just fine on PS4 Pro, except for the load times, obviously, which, again, is the most important part. But I had a base PS4 that was, like, trying to catch itself on fire running Ghost of Tsushima. It is a miracle that I did not burn my house down playing that game. So it was time. It was time for an upgrade. I don't mind. If you have an older version of the PlayStation 4, I highly recommend it. Like I said, I think just the SSD thing is probably the most important part of everything, followed by the haptics, which are just neat. That's just a cool magic trick.
Yeah.
Big recommend. I'm having a good time with it. I love my big monolithic boy.
I'm looking forward to revisiting a lot of PS4 games and playing them as they should have been played.
Yes. Probably go back to Ghost of Tsushima very, very soon, speaking of.
I want to go back to that. I want to go back to Kingdom Hearts 3 and experience those all over again with significantly reduced load times.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. Fuck
that
yeah,
one too,
let's go. But yeah, no. I think we can wrap it up for the night.
I think so. Yeah, thank you to Broke Free for some background music. You can follow me on Twitter at thegorgepodcast. You can follow Sara at radioinactivity. You can email us at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. And again, patreon.com/thegorge. Help us out. We'll help you out by giving you some cool stuff to listen to and watch and etc. etc. And if you want to listen to Sara talk about other things that aren't video games but are still games, you can listen to her other podcast.
Hey, I'm in another podcast. Well, technically, I am not physically in the podcast currently because I am on a hiatus from it. But I am a member of Big Gay Nerds, a podcast where a bunch of cool queer friends get together and we play different tabletop games. We try out lots of systems. It's a lot of fun. Right now, Owen and a handful of others are playing Under Hollow Hills, a kind of, I don't even know how to describe it, like magic circus themed, powered by the apocalypse hack, I guess. So like Monster Hearts, but more like fantastical and fancy, I suppose is a good way to play it. The system is very interesting. The cast is really good. You should come check it out. It's at Big Gay Nerds on SoundCloud, and you can find the links to the rest of our social media from there. Thanks.
All right, that'll do it for us. What you got for this one?
Ooh. I don't know. Let me think. What have I been the most displeased with vis-a-vis my PlayStation 5? Fuck dying in one hit in what is ostensibly a kid's platform.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It puts you back 2 feet and you lose like 3 seconds.
I know!
Loads
but
immediately.
Still, I know. I think literally the whole point. I think the whole point of why you can die in one hit in Astro's Playroom is to show, like, that's my my conspiracy theory, is that you die in one hit in Astro's Playroom, because they want to show off the SSD that way. It's like their way of showing off the SSD and be like, look, you don't actually have to be that. I'm like not that angry about it, but I do get easily frustrated. And so like they're like, look, you don't have to be that angry about dying in this child's video game because it loads so quickly. You're not mad, are you? And I'm like, I'm still a little mad, game, but I suppose I'm not that angry. But yeah, no, fuck that shit anyways.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.